This is part 2 of our test review for Unit 10 and 11. Number 5, Miss Piccolo wants to buy topsoil for a section of her garden that has the dimensions shown below. Each bag covers 2 square yards. How many full bags of topsoil should I buy to fill my garden? Well, if you look at this shape here, it is actually a trapezoid. It's upside down. However, you can break it up into a rectangle and a right triangle. I'm going to do this problem by using the trapezoid formula. A equals 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times the height. Looking at this upside down trapezoid, I know that 3.5 and 2 yards are the bases. So I will substitute them into my formula. The height is 4 yards. From there, I can do a nice easy math problem. Combine my parentheses, 3.5 plus 2 gives me 5.5. And I multiply all three numbers together to get 11 yards squared, or 11 square yards. So that would be the area of my garden. When I go back to the question asks, how many full bags of topsoil should I buy to completely fill my garden? So if each bag covers 2 square yards, then what I will do is 11 square yards divided by 2 square yards, and when I do the math, I will get 5.5. Once more, the question says, how many full bags should I buy? Since we can't go to the store and buy 5.5 bags of topsoil, I must buy 6 bags, because 5 bags would not be enough. 6 bags would completely cover my garden, and I would have some extra. Number 6. What polyhedron does the net below show? Like the nets that we've been talking about in class, this is a net of a rectangular prism. If I want to find the surface area, the way that we talked about it in class was to break up the net into different shapes that I know. Looking at our net of a rectangular prism, I have 6 rectangles. So you can label them. And that means we're going to have to find the area of all 6 of those faces. Add them all together, and that will give us our surface area. Since each shape is a rectangle, I'm going to write the formula one time on the top. Area equals length times width. And I'm going to do the areas of each one of these rectangles. So rectangle 1 has a length and a width of 4 and 7. So 4 times 7 would give us 28 feet squared. Rectangle 2 doesn't have any numbers, but I know that this must be 5 because it's up here, and the width would be 4. So the area of rectangle 2 would be 5 times 4, or 20 feet squared. Number 3 would be the same as number 1. It would have a length and a width of 4 and 7, so that would give me 28 feet squared. Rectangle 4 is the same as rectangle 2, with a length and width of 5 and 4, giving me 20 feet squared. And 5 and 6 are actually the same rectangles also. So the length of rectangle 5 would be 5 and the width would be 7, giving us 35 feet squared. And likewise, rectangle 6 The length and width are 5 times 7, giving us 35 feet squared as well. So after I find the area of all the faces, I add them together to find the surface area. 28 plus 20 plus 28 plus 20 plus 35 plus 35 will give me a total surface area of 166 feet squared. That would be my final answer. Number 7, find the missing dimension of the trapezoid if the area is 112 centimeters squared and the bases are 10 1/4 and 17 3/4. And we're going to draw a picture. So since we know it's a trapezoid, I'll do my best to sketch a trapezoid. Now in this question, they actually give us the area. They tell us the area is 112 centimeters squared. So I know what the entire inside area would be equal to. It also tells me base 1 is 10 1/4 and base 2 is 17 3/4 centimeters. Don't want to forget your units. Now, what is the missing dimension? Well, what's missing is our height. So that can be your x or your h for height. I'm going to write the formula for volume, and then I'm going to substitute in all of my known values. So since the area is 112, I'm going to substitute that in for A. Base 1 is 10 1/4, base 2 is 17 3/4, and I'm going to just keep it H since I'm trying to find what that's going to be. (10 1/4) plus 17 3/4, I can add those together very easily since they have a common denominator. So 17 plus 10 is 27, and 1/4 plus 3/4 is 4/4 times height. But 4/4 is equivalent to 1, so I know that 27 4/4 is the same as 28. I'm going to keep on going down in this order, so 112 equals 1/2 of 28. Half of 28 is 14, and I'm left with 14 times h. Final step would be to divide both sides by 14 to isolate the variable, or get the h all by itself. So h would equal 112 divided by 14, which gives me 8 centimeters. And since we are not finding the area but the height, our units are just centimeters. And lastly, number 8. The figure below shows Andrew's plan for a deck. We're going to use a highlighter or draw dotted lines to decompose the deck into different shapes. There are many ways we can do this. We can draw the line here to get a rectangle and a trapezoid. We can also cut the picture or decompose the picture like this. I think that's the one I'll stick with. So we have a rectangle on the bottom and a trapezoid on the top. Part B. To find the area of the deck, let's set up a plan. So my plan is going to be, let's find the area of the trapezoid and add it to the area of the rectangle to get the total area. Just like always, we need our formulas. So we'll write the formulas for a trapezoid and the rectangle, and then we'll do some substitutions. So if I'm looking at my trapezoid, which is here, this would be the area. I have base 1 of 24, and then the bottom base would be 33. Now the height would be from the top to the bottom here but that's not given to me. So I know if I take the whole height of 22 and subtract this portion, which is 12, I will get the height to be 10, because 22 minus 12 gives me 10. Moving to the rectangle, that one's pretty easy because I have a length of 33 and a width of 12. And now we can put everything together. So we can do 1/2 times 57 times 10, which gives us 285, plus 33 times 12, which is 396. And when I add these two together, our total area would be 681 square feet, or feet squared. So that would be the area of the entire deck. Now, if it costs $5 per square foot for the lumber to build the deck, we need to figure out how much we would pay him. So since our deck is 681 square feet, and each square foot costs $5, we must multiply to get a total of $3,405. So that's the cost for building a deck that's 681 feet squared. So hopefully this helped you. Please remember your reference sheet with your formulas, your calculator, and a pencil. And remember that there is extra help Wednesday morning to go over any questions you might have. See you tomorrow.